Congratulations on your purchase of the Drill Doctor Drill Bit Sharpener, the easiest and fastest way to keep your bits as sharp as new. Drill Doctor features a patented design that sharpens bits with the same motion used when bits are first made. And this design is so precise that bits can be sharpened hundreds of times. All Drill Doctor models sharpen standard twist and masonry bits from 3/32 to 1/2 inch. You can also purchase a large chuck that will sharpen bits up to 3/4 inch. The XP series also creates or sharpens split point bits, an advanced feature found only on exclusive Drill Doctor models. And it is constructed around a metal core for precise sharpening and splitting. Stay tuned to learn how to use your Drill Doctor to keep your bits factory sharp. The following tape includes sharpening demonstrations, a tour of the parts that make your Drill Doctor work, specific demonstrations showing how to sharpen small bits, large bits, and masonry bits, and cleaning instructions to keep your Drill Doctor running smoothly. How to sharpen with Drill Doctor. The Drill Doctor is easy to use. Only 2 simple steps will sharpen any bit. First, you align the bit. This makes sure the Drill Doctor creates the right geometry, and it sets the bit so that only a small amount of the tip is taken off. Then, you sharpen the bit. Additionally, with your Drill Doctor, you have the option to split the point of the bit. Now, watch as a bit is aligned, then sharpened. If you want, you can now split the point of the bit. That's all there is to sharpening bits with Drill Doctor. A tour of the Drill Doctor. The key parts to the Drill Doctor are the chuck, the alignment port, the sharpening port, and the splitting port. This is the chuck. These are the alignment guides. The chuck jaws that hold the bit, the chuck knob that tightens the chuck, the chuck cams that create the sharpening motion, the sharpening guides, or the white lines, for sharpening, and the marks for aligning the masonry bit. Now, look at the alignment port. These are the alignment notches with a 118-degree mark. These are the clamp arms. This is the drill stop. And this is the alignment button. When pushed in, it opens the clamp arms. This is the sharpening port. This is the cam guide. Note how the sharpening tube rocks back and forth, and this is the diamond sharpening wheel. This is the metal splitting port. These are the guide rails. And this is the mark for aligning the chuck. This is the grit tube to prevent sparks from leaving the Drill Doctor. This is the cover you remove to replace the sharpening wheel. Detailed demonstrations. Step 1. Alignment. Insert the bit into the chuck jaws and close the jaws just to the point where the bit slides in and out. Press the alignment button down and hold it. Insert the chuck and match the alignment guide on the chuck with a 118-degree notch on the tube. Release the alignment button and make sure the bit is touching the drill stop. Look at your bit and make sure the clamp arms are in the bit's narrowest spot. If they aren't, turn the bit to the point that is held by the clamp arms in the narrowest width. This is important because this setting determines the angle at which your bit is sharpened. Then hold on to the chuck and tighten the chuck knob. Press the alignment button and remove the chucked drill bit. Tighten the chuck once more so that the bit won't move when you sharpen it. Step 2. Sharpen. Insert the chuck and align either white line with a cam guide. Now rotate the chuck 1/2 turn in a clockwise motion. Turn white line to white line an even number of times, about 6 half turns for a 1/4 inch bit and 16 to 20 turns for a 3/8 inch bit. Remove the chuck and inspect the bit. Listen carefully to the sound your drill doctor makes. Note that you should direct light pressure into the sharpening hole, not down, and always make sure that the chuck rests firmly against the cam guide as you turn the chuck. This causes the sharpening port to rock back and forth and shapes your bit for the best cutting. Optional step: split the point. To split the point, do not remove the bit from the chuck after sharpening. Align the white line on the chuck with the mark on the splitting port. This will line up the alignment guide with the guide rails. Press chuck slowly and firmly into the splitting port until the chuck stops. Rotate 1/2 turn and repeat. A correctly split bit should look like this. Sharpening small bits. A few quick pointers will help you sharpen smaller bits more successfully. To align the bit, put the bit in the chuck so that it's just snug enough for the bit to move freely. Press and hold the alignment button and insert the chuck part of the way. Use the chuck to rotate the bit until the clamp arms can hold it in the narrowest width of the bit. Release the alignment button and make sure the clamp arms are holding the bit in the narrowest width. Rotate the chuck until the alignment guide is at the 118-degree setting. Push the chuck all the way into the port. Tighten the chuck, remove, and tighten again. Now sharpen the small bit, but use very light pressure, using an even number of turns. The bit should only briefly contact the wheel. Sharpening large bits. The XP series sharpens bits from 3/32 to 1/2 inch. You can also purchase a larger chuck that sharpens bits up to 3/4 inch. Large bits are sharpened just like any other bit. It is important to sharpen these bits so that the entire face of the drill bit is sharpened. A large bit requires more pressure and will require more white line to white line rotations. Bits 1/2 inch or larger will need a minimum of 20 half turns. A 3/4 inch bit may require up to 40 half turns. Your drill doctor is delivered with a 180 grit diamond sharpening wheel. If you regularly sharpen larger bits between 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch, you may wish to purchase the coarser 100 grit sharpening wheel, which sharpens larger bits faster. Either the 100 grit wheel or a replacement 180 grit wheel may be purchased directly from Drill Doctor. Sharpening masonry bits. Masonry bits are sharpened using a plunge action. Insert the bit into the chuck and line up the tip of the bit so that it's parallel to the marks on the end of the chuck. Set the depth by lining up the white line with a cam guide. Insert the chuck, then push the bit in until it stops. Tighten the chuck, remove, and tighten again. To sharpen, line up the white line on the chuck with a cam guide. Then push or plunge the chuck until it touches the wheel. Rotate 1/2 turn and repeat plunge action. Inspect the bit and continue until the cutting surfaces are sharp. Cleaning. Your drill doctor is a precision tool and should be cleaned periodically to remove dust and grit that can wear down the ports and the chucks. The following process takes approximately 5 minutes and should be done after every 20 bits you sharpen. You will need to clean the chuck, the alignment port, sharpening wheel area, the sharpening port, and the splitting port. Unplug your drill doctor before beginning the cleaning process. To clean around the sharpening wheel, use a dry brush to remove dust particles from around the wheel. To clean the ports, wipe the inside and outside of each with a dry cloth to remove any grinding dust, or vacuum each port with a 1-inch vacuum hose. A clean chuck will prevent bits from slipping out of alignment during sharpening. To clean, blow compressed air through the chuck from the knob end to remove grinding dust. Your diamond sharpening wheel will wear down over time and will need to be replaced. To change the wheel, remove the cover and turn the knob clockwise. Remove the wheel, replace, and tighten the knob by turning counterclockwise. At Drill Doctor, we want to ensure that you are fully satisfied with your product. Consult your user's guide and our website for additional information and contact numbers. Thank you for buying the Drill Doctor.